Have you ever noticed something strange? Your bird feeder is completely full, yet the birds that usually visit your backyard suddenly stop showing up. Then, a few days later, without changing the seed or adding anything new, those same birds come right back. Most people assume birds return for the food, but the truth is far more interesting. There's something in your backyard that birds value even more than a full feeder. And as long as that one thing is there, they'll keep coming back again and again. Today, we're going to uncover what that really is, and how one small change could turn your backyard into a place birds don't want to leave. If you'd love to wake up every morning to the sound of birds in your backyard, the first thing you need to understand is this: birds don't make decisions the way we do. Every time a bird lands in your yard, it spends just a few seconds deciding whether this is a place worth coming back to or one to avoid. Those tiny decisions determine whether your feeder gets an occasional visitor or becomes part of a bird's daily routine. If you're fascinated by the hidden behaviors of backyard birds, make sure to subscribe to Yard Bird Secret. Here, we explore what birds really notice, what makes them feel safe, and why some backyards become their favorite places to visit. So if food isn't the real reason birds keep coming back, what is? Do they actually remember your feeder? Are they following the scent of the seed? Or is there something else, something most backyard bird lovers completely overlook? Here's what's surprising. Two neighbors can have the exact same feeder filled with the exact same seed, yet birds may return to only one of those yards over and over again. Over the next few minutes, you'll discover how birds evaluate a backyard, the subtle clues that tell them a place is safe, and the one hidden reason they choose to come back again and again. Here's the surprising part. In a bird's world, food isn't the most valuable thing. Trust is. When a small bird like a house finch, black-capped chickadee, or tufted titmouse lands in your backyard, its brain immediately starts asking a series of questions. Could a predator be hiding nearby? If danger appears, where can I escape? Have I been safe here before? And all of that happens in just a matter of seconds. Researchers have found that before most small birds settle down to feed, they carefully scan their surroundings. If a place feels safe and reliable, they remember it. The next time they're searching for food, they're much more likely to return. That's why simply buying an expensive bird feeder or the highest quality seed isn't enough. If your backyard doesn't consistently give birds the signals that it's peaceful, predictable, and safe, they may grab a quick meal, then choose another yard as their regular stop. In other words, birds don't keep coming back because of your feeder. They come back because your backyard feels like a place they can trust. So what exactly creates that feeling? Let's look at the biggest clues birds use when deciding whether your backyard is worth coming back to. Let's start with the first reason, and surprisingly, it often matters even more than the food itself. Fist birds don't just look for food, they look for an escape route. Imagine trying to enjoy a meal in a place where, if danger suddenly appeared, you had nowhere to run. You'd probably never feel completely comfortable. Birds are no different. When a goldfinch, blue jay, or mourning dove approaches your feeder, it isn't focused only on the seed. Before it lands, it scans the area. Is there a nearby shrub, a tree branch, somewhere I can fly the instant I sense danger? If your feeder sits out in the middle of an open yard with no nearby cover, many birds won't even land. To them, having a quick escape route is just as important as finding food. That's why feeders placed near small trees, shrubs, or other natural cover often attract birds that stay longer and keep coming back. But there's an important balance. You don't want to tuck the feeder deep inside thick bushes either. A hidden cat or another predator could be waiting there. The ideal setup gives birds both nearby shelter and a clear view of their surroundings, so they can spot danger before it gets too close. That simple balance sends a powerful message. If something goes wrong, I can get out safely. And once birds begin to associate your backyard with that feeling of security, they're much more likely to return again and again. But safety isn't just about having somewhere to escape. There's another signal birds look for every single time, and it's something many backyard bird lovers completely overlook. Second, reliable water brings birds back, not just food. Most people assume that if the feeder is full, that's all birds need. But the truth is, many birds actually look for water before they look for food. Water isn't just for drinking. Birds use it to clean their feathers, regulate their body temperature, and stay healthy, especially during the warmer months. If your backyard has a clean bird bath or a shallow dish that's consistently filled with fresh water, birds quickly learn that your yard is dependable. But here's a mistake that's surprisingly common. Many people put out water, then leave it unchanged for days. Before long, dust, leaves, and algae begin to build up. Instead of attracting birds, that stagnant water can actually make them avoid the area. Fresh, clean water sends a very different message. This is a place that consistently meets my needs. And when birds experience that over and over again, they remember it. Your backyard becomes one of the places they naturally return to. Third, birds notice consistency. Have you ever noticed that some backyards seem to have birds visiting at almost the same time every morning? That's not a coincidence. Birds naturally develop daily routines. When they find a backyard that consistently offers food, fresh water, and a peaceful environment, it becomes part of their regular route. But if your feeder is full one week, empty the next, or the bird bath is sometimes clean and sometimes dry, your backyard no longer feels predictable. Birds prefer places where they don't have to guess what they'll find each time they arrive. That's why consistent care often matters more than buying expensive feeders or premium seed. They probably won't remember that you bought the most expensive bird seed on the shelf, but they will remember how your backyard made them feel every single time they visited. And there's still one more important reason. Birds keep coming back. It's something most people never even notice, yet birds see it every time they visit. And that one small detail can determine whether they stay for just a few seconds or return to your backyard for years. The good news is, if birds have stopped visiting your backyard as often, you don't need to buy an expensive new feeder or fancy birding equipment to bring them back. In most cases, it's the small changes that make the biggest difference. First, take a look at where your feeder is located. If it's sitting out in the middle of an open yard, try placing it near a small tree, shrub, or other natural cover where birds have a safe place to perch if they sense danger. Just be careful not to place it inside dense bushes where a cat or another predator could hide. Next, if you have a bird bath, make sure the water stays fresh. Clean, fresh water tells birds that your backyard is a reliable place they can count on every day. Another simple tip: try not to move your feeder around too often. When a backyard stays familiar and predictable, birds begin to include it in their daily routine. But if the feeder is constantly changing locations, they have to evaluate the area all over again. And finally, be patient. Even after you make these improvements, you probably won't wake up tomorrow to dozens of birds. Birds learn from their own experiences, and sometimes from watching other birds. As more birds discover that your backyard is a safe place, others often follow. Remember, you're not just putting out birdseed, you're creating a backyard that birds feel confident returning to day after day. So by now, you've probably realized something important. Birds don't keep coming back simply because you offer food. They come back because they trust your backyard. To them, it's more than just a place to grab a quick meal. It's a place where they know they'll find fresh water, a safe escape if danger appears, and an environment that feels familiar every time they visit. That's why an ordinary backyard can become a favorite stop for birds, while another yard with an expensive feeder and premium seed may stay surprisingly quiet. So the next time you see a small bird land in your backyard, don't assume it's only there for the food. It may be returning because it remembers something even more valuable: the feeling that your backyard is a place where it's safe to be. And that feeling is what brings birds back again and again. Now I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever noticed birds suddenly disappearing from your backyard, only to return after you made one small change? Share your experience in the comments below and tell us which bird visits your backyard the most. If you enjoyed this video, share it with someone who loves backyard birds as much as you do. Thanks for watching Yard Bird Secret. I'll see you in the next video where we'll uncover another hidden secret about the birds visiting your backyard. Until then, take care of your backyard and the little visitors who call a home.